What is going on, guys? This is Jeremy Scott, and here I am on YouTube.com to bring you the supply drop right here on YouTube.com. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below by hitting that fancy little red button. Hit that bell for notifications so that way you know when I upload, because I don't upload every day because I have a life. That's right. And I work all the time, so it's how shit works. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Scott LP because, you know, I tweet sometimes. I like to tweet. I like to tweedle away and tweetsters and tweetins with hashy tags and hashtaggins and hashers and taggies and hashtaggers. Anyway, as you can see, the setup's just a little bit different. You will notice more, especially as the next few videos come up. I haven't completely set up my area. This is not exactly how everything's going to look all the time, but we're working on it. It's a work in progress. Not everything get done like that, okay? Moving's a pain in the ass. Massive pain in the ass. On top of the fact that I was going to do this last week, but after we moved, I didn't have a power cord. Go figure. I had everything else. I had the mic, I had the camera, I had the monitor, I had the computer, I had the keyboard, I had the mouse. Fuck, I had the fucking webcam, I had the old monitor, I had my random headsets that I used to have. But for some reason, I don't know how the fuck this happened. See, I already screwed it up. The power cord did not get packed. I don't know what the hell happened. Everything else from the same stupid computer was in the same damn box. And yet the power cord disappeared. So yeah, that's why that thing went up when I was wanting it to go up. That's why we're here now. So we're all ready, we're situated, we're ready to go. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing this, obviously. So here we are. Let's get into it. Let's hit the supply drop. Go now. Alright, so, as you know, the supply drop, essentially, here on YouTube.com, from my channel, Jeremy Scott. Basically, we're going to cover the biggest shit that happened in the gaming community this week. So, there's a lot of stuff that happened. Well, there is and there isn't. There's a lot of shit coming up, like Far Cry 5 is coming very soon, which we'll be talking about not now, not this week, but next week, because Far Cry 5 doesn't come out until next week. So we'll talk about it then. But there's still a lot of stuff that's going to actually happen this week. So we're going to go over that today. We're going to go over the games that are coming out this week, what you should be picking up. Most of them coming out on Friday because apparently shit comes out on Friday nowadays. Not as much comes out on Tuesday. I don't know why. Don't ask me because I don't know why. And yeah, we're gonna talk about all that stuff. So, like I said, let's get into the fun shit. Okay. Let's start with the biggest thing, at least for me, but probably the biggest thing that's going around right now because it brings up a topic that gets brought up a lot anyway, and that's crossplay. If you don't know what crossplay is, then your life is just sad. No, I'm kidding, okay? Crossplay has been something that gamers have been wanting since the PS3 and the Xbox 360 because that was the first true, real online capable gaming that we had. Yeah, the PS2 had gaming online, and so did the Xbox, but the PS3 and the Xbox 360 is what really put that shit over the moon. So the one thing that a lot of people have been wanting for a long time has been cross-play. Now, we've had instances where we've had games potentially having the ability to have those abilities to have abilities for the abilities. But we've had games that have come out that have had the potential to have cross-play gameplay, but we just haven't had it because of varying reasons. People talked about GTA 4, GTA 5 being cross-play. People talk about Call of Duty being cross-play. I mean, it's been a topic that's been brought up quite often. Probably the biggest proprietor of that in the last, 4 or 5 years has always been PC to Xbox or whatever, but there's never been PlayStation to Xbox. The last big game that came out that was really pushing for it was Rocket League, which we're going to get into. So today we're going to talk about Fortnite, which if you saw the thumbnail, then obviously you clicked on it because you knew we were going to talk about Fortnite. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Fortnite crossplay, which is going to be coming to just about everything. In fact, we're going to go over that. Thanks to Kotaku, because they're my fantastic source, and we're going to use them as my main viewpoint, and that way I can also tell you what's going on and give you my opinion on it. But obviously this is all notable knowledge, but it's always better to really have it more laid out, because I don't like to write shit out. I like to play off the cuff. So it's a lot easier for me to read the information to you, give you my take on it, and go from there. With that being said, we'll get into it. By Ethan Goth from Kotaku. Basically, Fortnite Battle Royale is the latest video game and have cross-platform play amongst some devices, but just can't link PlayStation and Xbox players. This has been the thing that a lot of people have been wanting for a very long time. Mainly because, that's the ultimate way of determining who is better, PlayStation players or Xbox players. And it's funny because it keeps happening a lot. So, last week, Fortnite actually pointed out that they will be coming to mobile with crossplay between PS4, PC, Android, and iOS. Then over the weekend, in a blog post, Epic Games, which is the publisher of, obviously, Fortnite, announced that Xbox One would have crossplay as well with PC, Android, and iOS, not PS4. Afterwards, there was an individual that tweeted Phil Spector, who is the Xbox CEO, basically, and asked him, if we'll ever see Xbox One and PS4 game play between the two. And he simply replied, me too. He would love to see it. Even Epic Games chimed in, so they're open for it. In fact, Microsoft has been a leading voice in encouraging the adoption of cross-platform play and the potential of connecting players across PC, mobile, and all consoles. This was a email from a Microsoft representative. We've worked closely with Nintendo to allow cross-network play between Xbox One and Switch, and our offer is to do the same with PlayStation players still holds. For any other questions regarding Fortnite's crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation, please reach out to Epic or Sony. Which, of course, they didn't really talk about it, but it's still a valid point. Like I stated before, Xbox has been open to this since 2016. Now, they were the first provider to say that they did not want to work with Sony and do the whole cross-platforming thing way back, but they've really been pushing for it the last 2 or 3 years. When Rocket League came out, Rocket League's still relatively big right now, but since Rocket League came out, Xbox was like, we have no problem, working with PlayStation 4, because that promotes, competitive gameplay in a bigger aspect than just, Xbox tournaments, PlayStation tournaments, because that's just how it is. And of course, at that time, they said that there was an open invitation for any other networks to participate in cross-platform, especially with Xbox specifically. To which, at that time, during the Rocket League push, basically, PlayStation had stated has been supporting cross-platform play between PC on several software titles, starting with Final Fantasy XI on PS2 and PC back in 2002, which is true. But PC was more of, it's kind of an off-kilter thing, because everybody really has a computer anyway, and that was before the Macs really started to blow the fuck up. So, if you wanted to play on something other than a PlayStation, it's like, well, I don't have a PlayStation. I want to play on computer games. Well, there you go. That's how Sony did that. Of course, Microsoft didn't have that issue because it's Microsoft. We'd be happy to have the conversation with any publisher or developer who are interested in cross-platform play. This was in 2002. Sony was actually okay and open to actually doing cross-play between them and Xbox, but at that particular time, Xbox was kind of against it. Now, I can see where, the tables have now turned and blah, 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 whatever. But, it's 2018. We're still getting through this process of, brand loyalty really doesn't matter anymore. I mean, myself, I have an Xbox and a PS4 and a Switch, so there's no fucking brand loyalty on this end because I have all three. I buy games for all three. I don't play the Switch as much as I play the other two because the Switch is more for my kids, but that's not the point. I do play the Switch. I've played Breath of the Wild. I've played Odyssey. So I've played some of the biggest games on the Switch. But I also do buy games for my Xbox and my PlayStation 4. I bought WWE 2K18 for my Xbox. Or no, I bought that for my PS4. What the fuck am I thinking? I bought Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet for my PlayStation 4. Xbox-wise, I play Fortnite on my Xbox. I play PUBG on my Xbox. I play Overwatch on my Xbox. Now predominantly I do play my Xbox more than I play my PS4. But that doesn't mean that I prefer Xbox drastically more than my PS4 because I was a PlayStation guy when I was younger. But, times change and tastes change and all that other bullshit, so it is what it is. But ultimate bragging rights can be potential by having cross-play because then you can really sit there and be like, well, who's legit better in a particular game at a particular time? Xbox players or PlayStation players? You don't know because we don't have that ability to do that. Gwent was actually another game that the whole conversation got brought in. Gwent from The Witcher, the card game from The Witcher. If you haven't played The Witcher, you should play The Witcher. The Witcher is pretty damn good. If you never play Gwent, then it is what it is. I suck at Gwent, so it doesn't matter. But that was one of the other games that was really being pushed as being, cross-platform because that allows you to, compete with other people other than other Xbox players. But we live in a world where this is just kind of whatever. Do I think we should have crossplay? Yes, I think we should have crossplay. Should it be on every game? Probably not, because then that's just going to get a little more excessive. It should be strictly based on a game-to-game basis. We don't need to have crossplay on Grand Theft Auto. That would be such a clusterfuck. But it's inevitable. It will happen. When it will happen, I don't know. Is it possible that it's going to be just one game that's going to come out at some point in time that's going to be a cross-play game? It's possible. I would not be surprised if some major game down the line sits here and comes out and it's like, if you want online, we want crossplay. And, I wouldn't be surprised. I doubt that's how it's going to work. I'm sure it'll just kind of fucking happen out of nowhere. Or it'll probably be Minecraft. Minecraft's on every single human device ever created. There's a Minecraft on everything. If anyone can get them to do it, it would probably be Mahjong. But, whatever. But, it's coming. I can almost guarantee it's going to happen. Everything eventually happens. No matter what. It's just a matter of when. Not if, when. So. Speaking of Fortnite, which is, I wouldn't say it's my favorite game, but Fortnite is starting to make PUBG look like a punk-ass bitch. Yep, that's right. Over the last few months, this is not an article related, but this is just something that I've been reading from multiple sources, so we're not going to reference anybody specific, but PUBG has really started to fall off lately. Now, don't get me wrong, PUBG is a fantastically cool game. With that in mind, there is so many structural flaws with PUBG. If you don't know what PUBG is, I can explain it. It's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is actually in the preview stage, sort of like how Ark was up until like 2 weeks ago. But PUBG has had a very, very high following, but Fortnite has started to really gain some traction because PubNight, right? PubNight is a merger of Fortnite and PUBG. PUBG and Fortnite are essentially at its absolute core the exact same game. 100 players dropped on a map randomly, random spawns, random drops, one life, all pickups, and you survive till the end. You have a gravity bubble or a storm or whatever the fuck you want to call it that constricts the gameplay area slowly over time until everybody is within roughly I think like 100 feet, like 100 yards, within 100 yards of each other, and then you play until somebody ultimately wins. And you either play solo, in duos, or in teams of 4. But like I said, structurally they're exactly the same game. The difference being PUBG is more of a Call of Duty-esque game, and by Call of Duty-esque I mean it's like Modern Warfare, where you go and there's assault rifles, shotguns, body armor, you're finding gear, backpacks, stuff like that, health packs and all that other stuff. There's vehicles and all this other shit. There's supply drops just like there is in Fortnite. The difference between that's what PUBG is. Fortnite has a more child-friendly look to it, but it on the same scale, there is crafting within the game. You can build your own forts. You can destroy the environment. There's no vehicles, but there are power-ups. There's a single player to the game too, so if you pay for it. So structurally it's the same, but since Fortnite does have more going for it, it gives you the ability to build your own bases. It gives you the ability to really work more fluidly as a team, and really construct your own, and it allows you to actually have more going on. You can upgrade your appearances, it doesn't take forever to unlock a freaking loot crate, and then you get some common shit item, and you could sit here and play 20 matches and get a shitty shirt that does nothing, which is just strictly cosmetic. Whereas in Fortnite, you get a llama to bust open like a piñata. But I'm kind of trattling off, but Fortnite has started to overtake PUBG. I haven't played PUBG in like 3 weeks, but I've been playing Fortnite for the last 2 weeks pretty consistently. So what I'm getting at is that, unfortunately, I feel like Fortnite is not really getting the due that it should, especially in the overall community, because everybody was so high on PUBG. It's like PUBG. Everybody I've talked to, I've got friends at work, I've got people that I know on the youtubia.com that are obsessed with PUBG. But Fortnite is coming. And I'm telling you right now, had I played Fortnite first, I probably never would have played PUBG. But I played PUBG first. Then I played Fortnite, and here I am playing Fortnite. So my point to all this, probably nothing. Me rambling for 5 minutes about how I like Fortnite, and Fortnite's fucking awesome, and how you should play Fortnite. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I kind of lost track of what I was talking about, and I went and talked about Fortnite. But nonetheless, all these things are still relatively important. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and delve into the new releases that we have coming out? Because there's a lot of new releases coming out. Well, not this week. Not this week. But we do have some new releases coming out, which are some big games. Some older, but nonetheless, it's still there. Okay. First, we're going to go into the game that I'm really stoked about, which is also in your thumbnail. Burnout Paradise Remastered. One of my favorite games from the PS4. Comes out on Friday. This Friday. You can pre-order the game now at the store or at GameStop or wherever the hell you get your video games. If you have EA Access, you can actually get 10 hours free ahead of time right now, which I will be uploading some Burnout Paradise Remastered gameplay today. So look out for that. It's coming. But right now, it's actually sitting pretty well on Metacritic with an 81 score, which is actually relatively close to its original score. Their original score, I believe, was a 95. So the original release of Burnout Paradise got rave reviews. Even the remaster is getting some pretty good reviews. I mean, excuse me, it has all the DLC that came back in the day. It's a $40 price tag. Kind of pricey for a 10-year-old game. But nevertheless, it's still Burnout Paradise. If you haven't played it, quick synopsis. Basically, the summary for the game, which is what is on Metacritic, which I'll give you.
Basically says, welcome back to Paradise City. Make action your middle name as you rule the streets in Burnout Paradise Remastered. Tear up the town from hectic downtown avenues to wild mountain roads. Relive the high-octane stunts and wanton destruction of one of the greatest action arcade driving games ever. Burnout Paradise Remastered provides the ultimate driving playground for you and your friends to play online. This remaster includes all DLC from the Year of Paradise, including the Brig Surf Island update, meticulously recreated and ready to wreak havoc in 4K on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, which I have on my Xbox One X. Now, as I said before, Burnout Paradise was actually one of my favorite games. It's actually the first game I platinumed. It is very, very well done. It really is. The remaster, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to sit here and compare it to the original because I had the original and I didn't think of doing this before I actually deleted it. But I should have compared it to the remaster to really get a gauge of how well it works on its own. Nevertheless, it does look good. Taking a last-gen game and trying to remaster and make it look pretty is not going to make it look amazing unless you rebuild it from the ground up, because you can't just sit here and slap new paint on it and expect it to look better than it did the first time and not have any, glaring issues to it. You're still going to see that big crack in the wall. It'll still form through the paint either way. But the game is still structurally great. I haven't played a whole hell of a lot, but at least not the remaster. But it is still built exactly the same way. It still runs great. It is still fun to play. It is still insane to go around and crash the shit out of your car, which the crashes still look fantastic. I hope this brings an actual, revival for Burnout, which would be great. I would love to see a sequel for Burnout Paradise. I would love to see Burnout Paradise 2. That would be awesome, because if any game needs a new sequel, it's Burnout Paradise. So I would highly suggest picking it up, especially if you played it before. Because, who doesn't want to drive that Jensen 88? The Jensen P88, it looks just like the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Yeah, I abused the shit out of that car when I freaking got it. So, and I never played Big Surf Island the first time. So, there's still nudities to it for myself, at least. Because, like I said, I beat everything before the Big Surf Island came out, so I never actually bought the expansion. But, now that I have the game, I get to play it. So hopefully that will all come in real nice and cool and we can have some fun with it. The other major game that comes out today, and I just lost myself for some reason. Why did you do that, silly computer? It's fun when I have to use references on the computer to actually do what I'm doing. Go figure. The other major game that's supposed to come out is A Way Out, which is actually... is not a full, I don't want to say it's a full-blown game, but that bad boy is coming out today. It's it's being developed by Hazelight, which if you don't know Hazelight, don't worry, because I don't either. But it's being published by Electronic Arts. So EA has got their hands in all kinds of shit this week. A Way Out is actually, we don't need to listen to that. The story of A Way Out begins in prison with two separate inmates, Leo and Vincent, who don't know each other. While the individual stories progress, players have to build a relationship based on trust as they break both men out of prison and the world beyond. This co-op only experience is meant to be played together with a friend on a couch or online. A Way Out is a game uniquely tailored for two players working together no matter the situation. Through a compelling narrative, Leo and Vincent will embark on an emotional adventure where they live some memorable action moments that they face together, including car chases, stealth passages, melee fights, shootouts, and many more. Now, we've had games that were tailor-made to be co-ops. If anybody remembers, freaking now I can't. Kane and Lynch and Army of Two. Both games were made strictly to be co-op games, meaning you had to have somebody. You didn't have to, but the game definitely worked a lot better with a co-op player. So we've seen this done before. We've had the scenario pop up quite a few times. Be it what it is and how it works. That's just kind of that's just how it is. Either way, I feel like, if I don't feel like you need to sit here and force co-op on people. I mean, it's a fantastic tool to have, especially if you have buddies online that you like to play with a lot, or you have a friend that's at your house all the time. Co-op is definitely something you could really, really take advantage of. But, it's kind of hard to sell a game strictly just on co-op and co-op alone, because you're pigeonholing your audience, because a lot of people like to play on their own. Even people that play online a lot, and I mean a lot, still in a way play by themselves. That's kind of the intrigue of playing video games. A lot of people are still solo players, so you don't find a lot of people that'll sit here and do what I used to do when I was a kid, where we would sit here, get 2 Xboxes, 2 TVs, one in the living room, one in the dining room, plug it in, 4 players on each TV, playing fucking Halo 2 on freaking LAN split screen 4v4, in Blood Gulch, and just shooting the shit out of each other just for 9, 10, 11 hours on a Saturday night or a Friday night, with a 6-hour sleep break, and then getting back up and doing the same shit over again. Remember those days? Those days were fucking awesome. Those days do not exist anymore. Unfortunately. But, I do digress. Co-op is very cool, and it is very fun to do. If you have somebody you can competitively do it with, and you can do with in a constructive way. Because co-oping with a random person can be very questionable at best. So, nobody's really reviewed it yet because it hasn't come out yet. This is, like I said, this is still a relatively new-ish game. But it's coming out early next week, which is before, Far Cry 5. But we'll get into that next week. So, and that's really all I've got. That's about all I've really got for you this week. I mean, there wasn't, like I said, Burnout Paradise was the biggest thing, and Fortnite's crossplay was probably the biggest shit that happened, besides what got announced at Nintendo Direct. And if you haven't watched it for March, I highly suggest you could watch. Well, you could watch it. You don't have to. I could tell you what was on it. We got, we got the pretty Kirby game that I can't think of right now, which pisses me off. But Kirby's got a new game coming out, which is going to be fantastic. Looks great because it's a side scroller, but who cares? It's still Kirby. Kirby hasn't really had a game come out yet in a while, so. But you know what I'm talking about. The only thing anybody freaking really knows about, or anybody's worried about, that got announced during this was Super Smash Brothers is coming to the Switch this year. And I love how it's like, we're going to give you the year, but not the date. Sort of like how we were supposed to get Red Dead 2 this month, and now it's June or whatever the fuck it is. I don't even remember. I've had it pre-ordered since the end of 2016, and I'll stay committed to a release date whenever they fucking tell me. But right now, Red Dead should have been in my hands already, but it's not. But Super Smash Brothers is coming, and I cannot wait for that. And it should be interesting. Really should. And the best part is all they did was have Agent 3 from Splatoon 2 fighting. Looks at this big thing, and then you can see the reflection in her eye. Looks like a fireball, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get the Smash Brothers logo. And the greatest thing about that is that logo is so synonymous, and everybody knows what it is, that you get stoked. And I'm stoked. I want Smash Brothers because I didn't really get to play it on the Wii U. Played it on the Wii. The Wii was okay, but now I can play Smash Brothers in the middle of the desert if I wanted to. So I'm stoked about it. I can't get very stoked because I don't know when it's coming out. It could be 3 months from now. It could be in December. We don't know yet. So, but that's all I got for you. That's all we got to cover this week, because there's gonna be some shit coming very soon. Like I said, you got Fallout. You got Far Cry 5 coming. You've got Red Dead coming eventually.
So there's shit coming. I had more to do when I was gonna do Fatal Bullet because it is what it is. But it's a little late for that shit. But they can't all be kickers. Plus, I gotta work on my technique. I gotta work on my presentation. This takes time. It takes effort. Things don't just like that. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. I wish I was. Things would be a lot easier, but they aren't. So, either way, if you like the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up down below. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down because it's a free country and you can do what the fuck you want. If you enjoyed the concept and you want me to keep working at it and be a trooper with me, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and make sure to follow me on Twitter because if you do, then you get to figure out all the cool shit I get to do. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, I will see you guys at the end of the week. We're going to review everything that happened in WWE this week because that's something I can do without notes. I can do video games without notes, but only if I'm talking about something specific. I can talk about WWE because I've watched it for decades, so I have immense knowledge on that, which is nice, and anime and other things like that. We'll talk about all kinds of fun shit. And in fact, there was a Twitter tweet. There's a tweet that I saw on Twitter that is going to provoke me to do a video on Sunday called Last Point. And it's going to be about something that happens in anime a lot nowadays. Well, not nowadays. It's been like this for about 30 to 35 years, but people seem to have a problem with it. And guess what? I'm going to give you my take, and I'm going to tell you why I don't have a problem with it. And why you shouldn't have a problem with it. And why it's actually okay to have it. Because we all can use a little bit of fan service. Anyway. That's the supply drop. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to tell you now. Hit the subscribe button down below. If you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Follow me on Twitter at JeremyScottLP. And I will see you guys at the end of the week. There will also be some Burnout Paradise Remastered gameplay going up sometime today or tomorrow. It just depends on my mood. And we will go over all the shit that happened in WWE, including Fastlane, because Fastlane was actually pretty damn good. And all the other bullshit that happened this week. And then we'll actually start to get into our WrestleMania talk. So, and then, like I said, the last point where we talk about, is fan service bad for anime? Is it? I don't know. We'll have to have a discussion about it because I don't seem to mind it. So, anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, one more thing. No, actually, I don't have one more thing. Fuck it. I'll see you guys later. I don't know how to end this shit. I can't make shit pop in the screen and be like, ooh, look at this fancy shit. I could point out cool shit, but I don't have any cool shit out. So you're just going to have to fucking deal with it. I'll see you guys next time.